A vital skill in becoming an efficient communicator is that the ability to concentrate. Listening skills aren't taught in class, and sadly are largely undeveloped skills in many of us. To concentrate effectively may be a powerful skill that will be learned and practiced. You'll gain more respect and esteem through listening instead of through talking. It's funny how sometimes you associate a particular phrase with someone. I knew someone called Ray, and what I remember about him the foremost was when he was taking note of someone talk, he would keep saying, "I hear you." I might ponder whether he was saying that because he heard, but disagreed with what the person was saying, or if it had been a noncommittal filler. There is, however, an excellent difference between hearing and listening. Hearing refers to the physical dimension of the sound waves, striking the ear and therefore the brain processing them into meaningful information. Listening, however, involves much more than the hearing process. It incorporates listening and focusing with the intention of understanding and responding appropriately. The most basic of all human needs is that they got to understand and to be understood. The simplest thanks to understanding people is to concentrate on them. Not only that, but when people feel that you simply have really listened to them, you'll gain their respect and that they will value and provides you the credibility to talk. Consider how you are feeling once you sense someone is basically taking note of what you've got to mention. You feel good, you are feeling understood, and more connected to the one that is listening. The very fact that they're interested causes you to feel cared for. One important element of listening is that the ability to attend. Attending is that the process where we focus on a message and filter others that are distracting. It's to be ready to specialize in what the person is saying and filter all the opposite things which will be happening at an equivalent time. Someone once said that the rationale history repeats itself is because nobody was listening to the primary time. Once I first heard that, I noticed history always repeating in my house, especially around bedtime. That's the time when my kids practice attending. They specialize in what they're doing and filter me out as a distraction whenever I remind them that it's bedtime. One of the most important distractions to attending is our desire to speak. The desire to speak is so strong that while the opposite person is talking, we will be brooding about what we are getting to say next and expecting a chance to talk. As we specialize in what we are getting to say or interject, our attention goes from what the person is saying to our own thoughts. Although appearing to have an interest and attentive, we will easily be distracted by our thoughts or something else which will be happening at an equivalent time. At that time, perhaps we do fall under merely hearing and not listening. Our mind's attention has drifted onto other things and is not any longer bent on understanding and responding. True listening may be a skill that must be learned and practiced because the mind functions 7 times more quickly than it's possible to talk. Therefore, the mind must be bogged down and focused on what the person is saying, and not concentrate on other irrelevant thoughts or distractions. One of my all-time favorite books is The Success Principles, written by Jack Canfield. One of the principles he writes about within the book is the way to use the facility of listening as to how of building rapport and connecting with people. Jack created a series of 4 questions that he uses in personal and business situations. He asks the questions one after another. The primary time he tried it had been together with his sister Kim. He asked the primary question and listened to her response. When she had finished, he asked a subsequent question and continued during this manner through all the questions. Afterward, Kim smiled, said to him, "That's the simplest conversation I feel we've ever had. I feel so clear and focused. I do know exactly what I want to travel and do now. Thank you." He was amazed, as he hadn't said a word except to ask the 4 questions and had resisted the inclination to leap in together with his own responses. He has found this works every time and uses the questions frequently. I have used this strategy, but by using my very own questions, and am amazed at the results. Not only have the questions given me a greater understanding of the person, but through the very fact of actively taking note of people without commenting or putting my 2 cents worth in, they need experienced encouragement and a way of connectedness. I now confirm that I ask questions and listen quite I speak. I want you to require a flash now to consider an issue that you simply could use to practice actively listening and resist the impulse to talk. Once you have the chance, use your question or questions and knowledge the facility of building rapport with others through the facility of listening.